Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Big fight coming up this weekend. Well, supposed to, but there's a lot going on right now with the Queen's passing, so we'll see what they're going to do about the fight. My understanding from reading a few posts from different reliable sources is that the fight is still on. They're not going to cancel the fight. But that aside, right? Savannah Marshall. Look, her and Claressa Shields. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I think Claressa Shields boxes the socks off her. Claressa Shields has proven that she gets in the ring, no matter who she fights, and she wins, and she dominates, okay? This is something that she does, and this is something that I have to say she's going to do against Savannah Marshall. Now, I didn't know that Savannah Marshall, some of her opponents' records, man. Okay, I didn't realize was Savannah Marshall was in here fighting some of these, most of her opponents with with horrible records. And when you look at that, I mean, that could explain why she was able to get a lot of them out of there. And I think had Claressa Shields faced that kind of opposition, she would have dusted them too. Okay? Now, does Savannah Marshall has more power than Shields? You know, if they would have faced the same opponents, then I would say, you know, we can go from there. They have a couple, you know, opponents in common, but I would venture to say that Savannah has more power. But when I look at it, I mean, it's crazy, you know? And the thing is, we know Shields can box. I haven't heard not one person say Shields can't box, you know, because if there's anyone on here, and I get people, you know, being loyal and, you know, being a fan of a boxer, but come on, man, if you can't give Shields her credit for being a great boxer, then you're just a sourpuss, man, and stop. But at the same time, we got to look at Savannah Marshall. She can box. She ran through that amateur circuit, man. She has a sound pedigree, okay? And she obviously has something special in her hands. She has some heavy hands. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think Shields, if Shields boxes the way she can, then she should easily outbox Savannah Marshall and go on to an easy win. Okay? Now, Shields likes to say she's the female Mayweather. Okay? Well, this is one thing we knew about Mayweather. That pretty boy Floyd Mayweather, that was a different animal. Boxer, puncher, get you out of there. Okay? He started having the hand issues, moving up in weight. Remember, Floyd was running around here at 130 pounds, 35, 40, 47, all right? Actually, went 130, 135, 40, 47, 54, yeah. So we can't sit here and want to say that she's like Floyd, okay? I understand what she's saying. They're both from that area. I get it. But she's not Floyd. She's not the female Floyd. But Claressa Shields is an amazing boxer. But back on Savannah Marshall, right? Her opponents, 4-3, 1-6, 8-2, 4-0, 3-25, 11-55, 2-0, 8-12, 9-4, 19-16, 16-0, 12-3. Now she's fighting Shields at 12-0. Yo, 3-25, 11-55. Those records are sickening. Now, when you look at that kind of opposition, you're supposed to get those kind of people out there. Now, when Shields turned pro coming right in. I mean, banging against champions, you know? Shields didn't come in here getting soft touches. She went to work. But with 2 gold medals, the amateur pedigree and everything, you would think she would do that. It's just like Lomachenko. They're not going to come in here and tickle opponents until the 21st fight, 30th fight, and then look for big names. They're coming in because of their skill set. They know what they can do. And they're going to bang people out. So Claressa and Shields. 15-8, 4-1, 16-0, 17-0, 18-1, 5-2, 9-1, 24-0. That's this one, I think it's like 26-3, 17-0, 21-0. Now fighting Marshall, 12-0. Speaks volumes about the level of competition. So that's why I wanted to bring that to your attention. It's not me being wishy-washy. I always said that I think Savannah, and I'm going to say it now, okay? And I want to make sure I make this clear. When you look at that, the competition they face, there's no argument here. There's no argument here. Claressa Shields has faced the far better opposition. That's not my opinion. I just read this off to you. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to give her the advantage going into this fight. I am. But I am going to say this. And this is where Savannah Marshall, things could play right into her hands. And it could go this way, all right? Savannah Marshall is more cool as a fan, not very loquacious, not very aggressive. They have had a few exchanges during the press conference, which is good. But Shields, she said something during the press conference that I found alarming and very concerning, and someone in her camp needs to reel her in immediately. Shields is saying how she has knockout power, and Savannah Marshall is going to learn come this Saturday about her knockout power. Yo, that should be like, a big warning sign flashing on the screen. Claressa Shields should not go in this fight looking to knock Savannah Marshall out. That means she's gonna have to stand and trade or hold her ground. And again, this 2-minute round, this is the next problem, right? So first, she holds her ground with Savannah Marshall. They have an exchange. Someone's gonna get hurt. And I'm not saying Claressa Shields can't hurt her, but I think Claressa Shields' her best opportunity and chance is to box, move, use that speed, and then just start to let her have it, right? But if she's going to stand there and try to prove a point that she can exchange, Claressa Shields can get caught early and get hurt badly, okay? But I think she needs to box intelligently and try to load up on the bigger punches, when she has those opportunities, but not coming there with the intention of holding my ground to prove a point. And the reason I say that is these are 2-minute rounds. And both of them are in great condition. You know how fast those 2 minutes go? I mean, I'm not talking about sitting here as a spectator watching it. If you've ever sparred 2 minutes opposed to 3 minutes, 2 minutes goes like this, okay? They're in there fighting. So in the women's boxing, they don't really get that tired. They get in there and put the work in. So if Claressa Shields, she's gonna come in there and go toe-to-toe with Savannah Marshall, who's definitely gonna be in shape, it could be a problem. It's not like when you get somebody tired and they just can't push. You know what I mean? These women are gonna be able to push through the 2 minutes of every round, the whole 2 minutes of every round. That's where Savannah's gonna have an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. It's like Andy Ruiz in there this weekend with the Cuban Flash. Or Andy Ruiz in there with Areola. The faster hands gets the best in the exchanges, unless they stay in there too long and with poor defense. So I expect Claressa Shields to get the best of the exchanges because of her speed. But if she stays in there too long, that's where she's going to have problems. Now, I did videos on this months ago. I'm not going to go and rehash that. Just go take a look. I got almost 450 videos now. But go look at probably within the first 100, and you'll see where I'm talking about. Savannah Marshall was signed to Mayweather Promotion. She was up there training in Vegas, being around Floyd, training with him, learning the secrets, being around other American professionals. They just couldn't get her to big fights. They couldn't get her any fights. So she came back. Then she started getting that experience with Tyson Fury's uncle, the whole Fury camp, and now her career is just kind of taking off. But she's not this organic European fighter. She has got some of the same coaching and some of the same insight and experiences what Claressa Shields has received. Okay? See, a lot of people didn't know that. Mayweather got his hands on Savannah Marshall when she first turned pro. So For those who didn't know that, that's what happened. So you got to give Savannah Marshall credit in those areas, okay? Forget all the how Claressa Shields is, she's confident. Some say she's arrogant. Some say she's rude, whatever. Forget that, okay? Let's just look at this for what it is. We're gonna have an undisputed showdown on an all-woman card, which is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And this right here, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's going to eclipse Serrano and Katie Taylor, but this is the equivalent of what we saw there. This is a big deal. But the Serrano and Katie Taylor maybe is a bit more kind of muscle behind that event, but this is comparable. Like, this is huge, right? But we gotta. I don't think Claressa Shields is getting enough credit here. And I don't even think I was really giving her enough credit. It's not till I was listening to them talk, and they were talking about who they fought. And I said, well, let me go look and see. And I was like, you know what, that makes a difference, okay? And I'm going to give you one of my stories, okay? I was in Germany, and I was there for, a certain period of time, and I went to the gym, and I was upstairs, I was lifting weights. And I went downstairs, and there were basketball courts, but then there was an area with boxing. So I went over there, and there were these guys training. And the guy was, I knew he was a clown because he had headphones in his ear with the cable and with the wired headphones, and he was hitting a heavy bag. And the headphones kept falling out because he had little iPods back in the day, And I'm like, who's this clown, man, training with this big set of wired headphones on? He was trying to look cool. He looked stupid. Anyway, we're talking about, your competition matters. So I'm down there, and I find out that they box. And they have they go like on Saturday and Sunday, they're always in there training and sparring. I'm like, cool, I'll come out. So I went out there. There was a coach there. He actually had like 100 and some amateur fights. He was in the Army. Little short guy, man. Simple looking little guy, man, white guy, man. And he looked simple as hell. I almost cussed just now, but I'll say that guy could fight. So anyway, he was like, hey man, I heard you box. I'm like, yeah, I messed around before. And I let him know that I have experience, right? I didn't want to come in there and act like I didn't know what the hell a jab was, and he put me in there with some cornball. And, I hurt him. Or he put me in there with some professional guy, and he gives me the business. I'm like, look, I'm in decent shape, but I'm not, I don't think I can really go and do 4 3-minute rounds. I'll probably do 2, see how I feel. So he's like, oh, okay, man. He's like, yeah, I'll have you spar this guy. And the guy was, when you're overseas and you go and you box sometimes, they give you these titles as the European this or the regional this, right? And these guys let that shit go to your head, but you're fighting nobodies. You know what I'm saying? So they put me in with this guy who was supposed to be the regional something of the armed forces in Europe. Some fancy title they gave him because he fought in a couple smokers. If you don't know what a smoker is, it was just 2 guys get in the ring and fight, okay? So he fought in a couple, and I guess he won. So then they put him in there with me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I hear the title of this guy has, I guess he gave him a belt and all this shit. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, all right. So I came into that boxing match. It was sparring, right? But I came in there, I came in there with a little more intensity than probably what I should have. But anyway, this fool wasn't even paying attention because I'm right-handed. But I used to fight southpaw. So he wasn't even paying attention to when we were warming up and stuff, and I was, shadow boxing and everything. He wasn't paying attention to my feet. So the coach was like, all right, boom. We start sparring, right? And he's throwing the jab, and I noticed immediately that, this isn't going to go good for him, Like, you can tell. And I was like, okay, maybe he's trying to set me up. So again, this is all going to tie into competition, right? With Savannah and competition with Savannah and Shields. So anyway, I hit him with a jab, boom, and his eyes got big. So then we're going, and then he rushes me, right? So I just immediately go on the defensive, but I'm holding my ground, so I'm leaning into him. And as he throws, right, he's throwing wide hooks, and he's hitting my arm. And I just react, instinctively. Boom, shoot the uppercut, right? So when I shoot the uppercut, I lifted him up, and I came with that right hook. And I threw it with a little bit of power. I put some heat on it. Yo, that guy froze, man. Like, no kidding. His ass froze. I hit him, boom, and he was just like this. And I went to hit him again, and the coach was like, stop. And I stepped back, and I was like, yo, and he was telling him, like, hey, he's right-handed. You're going into his power hand. And he's like, you okay? And then he looked at me, he was like, hey. He's like, hey, take it down a little bit. And I'm like, all right. But I'm not going to let him hurt me. So anyway, we start sparring again. And he just, like, kind of went into a shell. But I let him throw a little 1-2. I blocked the 1. The 2 came and hit me, caught me head on headgear. I let him get the shot off, right? And now I'm bringing him, lining him up with my left. So my foot's on the outside of his. So he's like he's right there, man. And I'm like, man, I don't want to hurt this guy, but I'm like, all right. So I threw a double left hand. The first one was just to blind him. I brought it back and threw that second left hand so quick. I put some heat on it. And his ass, the same thing. He just kind of like dazed, And I went to hit him with that right hook, and then I just grabbed him, and I was like, "Yo, my man, come in." And then the coach was like, "Stop him." I just walked him off, like he was hurt. And the coach was like, "Hey, how many fights did you have?" I was like, "Look, I'm not professional. I did a lot of sparring. I have a little amateur background, right? I didn't get into all that, but I was like, yo, you said he's the European something regional champion for the armed forces, man." And he was like, yeah, but this competition out here. I'm like, well, all right. So then after that, he had me sparring these 2 other guys. One guy, I was like 185 pounds. He had me fighting this guy like 245, 6'4", man. And he had a little power. And we sparred, and I sparred this other guy was like 6'2". He was like 160 pounds. He was just tall and lanky, Paul Williams type guy. But he had some speed, and he had long arms, he had some pop. And we went at it. And the first time we sparred, it was hitting me, man. I was like, yo, how's this guy hitting me? From like, I swear to God, he was like a mile away with them long arms. And the second time we sparred, I said, okay, I can't play around with him. And I gave him the business, So we were like 1-on-1. And we had each other's respect because, he could hold his own and I could hold mine. But I just remember that he wasn't hitting me hard, but he was hitting me. And I remember thinking, how is he getting to me? Because his damn 81-inch reach, you know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this. The guy who was the regional armed forces champion, right? Some stupid title. He thought he was going to be able to come into the ring and do something spectacular because he faced this competition that wasn't all that. And as a result, when he came in there with somebody who, and I was used to sparring tougher guys, way tougher guys than that, who was used to facing tougher opposition, it didn't go so well. So what I'm saying with Savannah and Claressa, Savannah has a sound amateur pedigree. She's seen it all. She's in with a good trainer and Peter Fury, and I think she has the goods. I just think when she gets in there with this competition, like a Claressa Shields, I think she's gonna learn real quick, like, okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And I understand that they sparred a couple of years ago, is my understanding. That they sparred a couple of years ago. We all know sparring ain't fighting. But I'm not saying that she's going to be like the Armed Forces champion, European regional, whatever that guy was, right? I'm not saying that. I just think we should give Claressa Shields a bit more credit, man. Okay? I just think she deserves more credit. So I'm going to go ahead and say I think Claressa Shields, man, it does what she always does. It just outboxes her and just makes her look crazy. The problem's going to be if Claressa Shields decides to take it to the stupid and stand there and try to exchange with her to prove a point that I can hurt her, I can knock her out. Maybe she can, but we don't know that. What we do know is she'll outbox her. Now, it doesn't matter if you're pro Marshall or not. Just be fair, man. Savannah can box. No doubt about that. She's not a better boxer than Claressa Shields. So, my thing is Claressa Shields should stick to what she does well, outbox her, make it easy, and then put a few heavy shots on you, have an opportunity to try to get out of there. Savannah Marshall needs to be behind that jab, cutting the ring off. Behind the jab, cutting the ring off. Get her out of place, shoot that right hand. You know, jab to the body, come up. And when she's throwing those shots, not everything needs to be hard. Some of it's just to confuse her. Go up, go down, soft, boom, pap, then put the power behind it. You know, step into her, close the distance, move her, physical. Savannah Marshall is much bigger than her. Savannah Marshall can go in and muscle her around. If she tries to fight from the outside, Claressa Shields is used to fighting guys, girls, taller, longer, powerful. She spars men. I'm not saying Savannah Marshall doesn't. So you can't come in there thinking that because of your reach, you're going to make this an easy fight. Claressa Shields, to see those punches coming, man, get inside, let her hands go, and then she'll be out of there. Or she'll turn you, and you don't know where the hell she's at, and bing, 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 you're getting hit again. So I think for Savannah Marshall, it's for her to be the big person. Fight big. Let that jab go. Don't even shoot at her head all the time. Shoot it at her chest. Boom, boom. Throw the right hand, come in behind it, make it physical, bump her. Throw your shoulder into her. Like, make it ugly. Hurt her. That's what she's going to have to do. You know, make the referee do his job. And like I always say, if the referee will let me get away with kicking you in the teeth, I'm going to kick you in your damn teeth, right? It's a fight. If Anthony Joshua had the Marcos Maidana mentality, Anthony Joshua would have beat Usyk the first and second fight. Okay? And Savannah Marshall seems to be a nice, decent person. But if you want to get in there and beat someone like Claressa Shields, you can't be in there trying to coochie-coo and tickle her and outbox her. You're just not going to win. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say I personally think Claressa Shields outboxes her with no problem. However, if Claressa Shields goes out there and wants to try to prove she can hurt her, she's going to make a mistake. Savannah Marshall is going to be waiting for the opportunity to strike. And when she gets that opportunity, I think she's going to seize it. It's for Claressa Shields to not give her that opportunity, to land the big boom, because Claressa Shields is a master boxer. So go in there, be the master, outbox the Savannah Marshall, and make her look simple, make her look average, make her look like the boxer who's been fighting opponents with losing records. But if you go in there and get emotional to try to prove a point, Savannah Marshall, she has the experience, she has the pedigree, she has the power, she has the right trainer, she's been all around. She's going to bring that into the ring, and she's going to show up to win. And I would not be surprised if Savannah Marshall stopped Claressa Shields. Because I'm telling you now, Claressa Shields is emotionally charged, and I just don't think she's going in there to box and make it easy. She's going in there to try to prove a point, and that is where it's going to go left. But we'll find out. That being said, I'm looking forward to the fight. All-woman card, man, that's cool. I got to take my son to a birthday party on Saturday, man, but I'll be watching it. But that being said, man, leave your comments below. Appreciate your support. My condolences to everyone out there in the UK who's watching this video. But you know, life, man. Life happens. Life is real. That being said, y'all keep cool. And as always, I'm in the breeze.